afternoon show with your boy Nino. Welcome to the first installment of Now You Know with Nino. It's my instructional guide on what millennials need to know. 30 things millennials need to know in order to really consider yourself to be an adult. As a father of four myself, I've got 2 millennials, and you'd be amazed at the stuff that they don't know how to do. So if you want to consider yourself grown and adult, there are 30 things you need to know as a millennial in order to be qualified as an adult. The first thing you need to know is how to perform a jump start. You gotta have a car, especially if you're living here in Evansville. If you got a job any kind of way, you need to have a reliable source of transportation. But sometimes things go wrong. I've had to do 3 jump starts in the past year. You know, things gonna happen. My car would jump down. My wife's car went down. My mother-in-law's car goes down. Things happen. So if you don't know how to do a jump start, it can cost you a lot of money calling a tow truck to do it. So the first thing you need to do, get you a pair of jumper cables. If you're a car owner, it is a must to have a set of jumper cables. And I would suggest get you the longest set that you can afford. This is about a 12-foot cord here, available at any car auto repair store. Not expensive at all. These cost about like 12 bucks at the most. You know, just simple prongs to grab your battery and transfer the energy to one car from another. So it's a must that you have to have a set of jumper cables. So we're going to assume that my car is dead, and we're going to jump this car from my wife's car, from this car. And I'm glad that we want to do it this way because they have 2 different battery setups. If you want to come look at this, my car, my battery is under here. It's all kind of stuff I had to take, especially this kind of engine. So a lot of people, even me, when I first got the car and I had to do a jump start, I looked, I said, wow, where do I possibly do a jump start at? But if you have a car designed like this where the battery is covered, you have a fuse box right here, you see the little lightning symbol right here. This is your fuse box, and you'll see a red cable coming out here. That's the cable coming from your battery. That's your hot right there. Anything with red on it like that in a car is usually a hot battery, meaning the charge is coming out. Now, there is no ground wire here. There's no black wire. These are both hot wires. One's coming from the battery, one's going to the fuse box to the alternator. The only way to find the ground on this car is to find a piece of metal that's attached to the body of the car. So in this car here, for me, in order to perform a jump start, I would connect the ground to something metal and my hot to the red. And just make sure the tips on there are not rusted or corroded in any kind of way to make a good contact with the post and the ground. Just anything that's metal will work as ground. Black is always ground. Red is always hot. Now, step over. Don't trip over the wire there, baby. I just said don't trip over the wire. Now, in this setup, we have an exposed battery, which most cars have, but when you have those technical cars like mine over there, they try to hide everything and make it more difficult. This here, the battery is very well exposed, and you have the red hot with the plus symbol on it. Anytime you see a plus symbol, that's positive, that's hot. Negative, usually in the black, ground over here. Take off these caps. And it's really good to know that, because when you if these didn't have caps on them, you wouldn't even hardly be able to tell which was positive or negative, because they both have like red colorings on them. We made that mistake one time trying to do it and ended up putting the post on the wrong side. So you need to pay attention to negative, black, positive, red. And if you don't see it, just look on the battery. It should say somewhere on the battery which one is the negative, which one is the positive when you search. Now, what you want to do, this is the car that we're jumping from. First thing you want to do, since you have exposure to the ground wire, hook the ground up first. Right there. Positive here. So now you see how it goes. Ground to the ground, black to black, and hot, positive red to hot, positive red. Now what you want to do is start up the car you're jumping from first. Since we're going to jump from this car, I'll start this one up first. Where your keys, babe?
You should be able to start it.
Oh, I can't even get in this thing. No key detected, you're too far away. All this fancy click to start. You know, and that's what it makes things hard sometimes, especially all the technological advancements we've made. You gotta know how to operate your own vehicle. So, we got the jumper car started, hooked it up to the ground. Now normally, depending on how dead the battery is, like if my lights didn't work, if I tried to click it on, or if the radio didn't come on, or if the door chime didn't bling when I get in the car, that means this battery is super dead. And you would usually let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe even hit the accelerator pedal on the jumper car to keep the voltage flowing a little bit, and give it enough time to have enough energy transfer from that car to this car. So we're going to assume we've waited about 5 minutes. Connections are made. Things are good. We're going to try to start this car. Now, like I said, if you open the door and you don't hear chimes or your lights are not on, like I said, your battery is dead. So you might want to let it charge up just for a little while, 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to assume we've already done that. Get in. And if everything works right, it should start right on up. So, lesson number 1 on how to be a millennial, how to be an adult. You have to learn how to jump start a car, because you will have a dead battery, especially in cold winter weather like this when we have cold snaps, 30 degree below zero, ice on the windshield kind of weathers. Batteries tend to drain. People leave doors open, leave lights on, batteries die all the time. So you need to know how to jump start. That's lesson number 1. Now you know with Nino.